Hello, I'm Grace. The government has made a decisive move to freeze major public utility rates, aiming to shield household economies from direct impact during the second half of the year. According to reports, the government has decided not to increase essential public utility fees, such as electricity and gas, which are closely tied to daily life, for the remainder of the year. This measure reflects the intensifying inflationary pressures caused by growing external uncertainties, particularly geopolitical risks in the Middle East. To stabilize energy prices, the plan includes reducing petroleum prices to current levels and maintaining existing support systems to alleviate the burden on consumers. Specific figures confirm that approximately 1 trillion Korean won, roughly 730 million USD, in fiscal funds will be deployed to rescue small business owners struggling with high fuel costs. To stabilize food prices, the government has announced plans to significantly increase the import volume of fresh eggs by 6 times, securing an additional 200 million units. Through these measures, the government has set its target for consumer price inflation management in the second half of the year at below 3%. Rather than viewing this policy simply as a means of suppressing utility rates, analysts suggest it is a defensive measure intended to prevent a sharp contraction in the livelihood economy. The context of this decision is supported by historical precedents, where the government froze public utility rates during past economic crises to prevent skyrocketing inflation. However, freezing utility rates carries the structural limitation of forcing the government and public enterprises to shoulder the risk of deteriorating financial structures for energy companies. The effectiveness of the petroleum price reduction measure also remains a key variable, as it could be heavily influenced by the volatility of international oil prices. Whether the 1 trillion won in support for small business owners leads to actual operational recovery on the ground will require precise monitoring during the implementation process. While expanding fresh egg imports may be effective in securing short-term supply, it will be difficult to fully control the price volatility of those imported goods. Ultimately, the success or failure of these measures will likely depend on how quickly the geopolitical risks originating from the Middle East subside. Close attention must be paid to whether the government's multifaceted price stabilization measures will successfully translate into restored consumer sentiment and the achievement of inflation targets. I'm Grace, thanks for watching.